I want you to ask yourself honestly, in the last 2 years, how many things have you done that have scared you? In the last 2 years, how many things have you done, attempted, tried, explored, experienced that have scared you? It could be about anything. It doesn't have to be like this absolutely frightful experience, but what have you done that has stretched you, frightened you even a little bit, or more so than anything, pushed you out of your comfort zone? Welcome to the Inspire series. My name is Sylvie Mordini and I'm the founder of Life Inspired. I've been teaching and motivating people all over the world for the last 20 plus years. So this is an essential truth. The opposite of happiness is not unhappiness. The opposite of happiness is apathy, complacency, boredom. And so really assessing for yourself, at this point in the last couple of years, have you been playing it too safe? No matter what the reasons are or the contributing factors or what's been going on around you, but have you found in the last couple of years, you have taken zero risks? You've played it totally safe. You are starting to feel a little numbed out. Everything is overly comfortable. If that's the case, then this is an opportunity to really ask yourself this next question. Am I happy? Hands on heart. And just listen for your own answer. Am I happy? So often we just go so fast and get so hurried that we don't have time to ask ourselves this fundamental question, am I happy? We're just busy going on this hedonistic treadmill. And a huge contributing factor to that is when you look at your life, if you've gotten overly complacent, overly comfortable, and you are not doing anything that scares you or pushes you or asks you to just expand a little bit more. Because if we are not growing, then this is absolutely one of those correlating factors to unhappiness, right? If you're not expanding, growing, tapping into something more, whether it's personal development or even just experiencing more of life. And so when I ask you to think about like doing something that scares you, it could just be riding a bike and you haven't ridden a bike for 10 to 15 or 20 years, right? It could be going to a dance class that is going to absolutely trigger you a little bit because you're not going to feel comfortable. You might be out of your element. You might be putting yourself into a situation that you're going to feel awkward. Oh, good. I love awkward. Awkward brings about happiness, right? If we're not awkward, we know that we're too comfortable. So taking a dance class, for me, it's like going to a hip hop class, right? That's not a form of dance that I'm most familiar with growing up, right? I took ballet and modern and jazz and those types of classes, but something completely out of the box. And I would say the same thing about taking a belly dancing class. It's not a genre or type of dance class that I've taken before. So I know that that's going to push me to experience something new. And if I'm honest, taking a Zumba class is challenging for me because it's scary. It's like the choreography or the people that are in the class sometimes seem like everybody knows it better than me, and I'm a step behind, and that's exactly why I should do more of those things. And I would ask you to look at that for yourself. Are you going to new restaurants? Are you exploring locally your own community, going to new places in your community that you've never been to before? I make a point here in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live, every single weekend I go do something new. I ride my bike down a different path. I explore a different part of town. I go to a new restaurant, a coffee house, a new museum. It could be anything, but I resist that tendency to stay in same, not different. And it's not to say that I don't go back to some of my favorite places, absolutely, but I don't get so habituated that I disallow myself from zooming out. Because like with a fancy camera, if we only zoom in and we're like, this is the one way, this is the one restaurant I go to, this is the one path I take, we're missing everything else that's all around us, right? And if we're not seeing it, then we're not taking the experiences that may be a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. That's when we know we're growing, expanding. And the other part of that is when we look at happiness as a overall, one of the other contributing factors and correlating factors is creativity. If you are not feeling creative, then you're probably not as happy as you could be, right? Creativity always asks us to expand and grow and even explore ways of expressing ourselves, whether it's creativity in dance, creativity in painting, creativity in music, creativity in writing, whatever it may be. But we don't know the outcome when we go into creative endeavors or when we're using the creative mind. We have no idea how it's going to turn out, right? It's like when I watercolor, I have sometimes an idea of what it might be, but it never turns out exactly the way that I thought it would be. And that's when it's most beautiful. And allowing for that lets me get less attached to the outcome, where I'm not punishing myself for not painting something the way that I wanted it designed in my mind at first. I'm allowing it to evolve. And it's a co-creative process that just stokes joy and absolutely enhances and increases my happiness. So if you look at your life in this third question, how creative have you been in the last 2 years? What examples of expressing your creativity can you offer right now? You can write these down in your journal. You can be thinking about them. I always encourage you from watching these videos to have a conversation with somebody about what you've heard here. But what examples of creative expression can you offer in the last 2 years? It could be classes online, in person. It could be explorations at home. Maybe you've gone traveling to new places. Maybe you've learned how to cook different types of cuisine. But what is it? You know, in my home, because I love home decorating, I teach myself different painting techniques. Not just watercolor like on a little pad, but like literally painting walls, right? Like frottage, that was a real fun one. And different variations. There's amazing things you can do with paint. And the great thing is that you can always paint over what you just did if you don't like it, right? It's a very inexpensive creative expression. But I love doing it myself so that I can feel like I'm adding some creative energy to my home. And it also gives me a sense of empowerment. It builds my confidence and self-esteem in taking action to try something. So take a look at what you've written, what you've thought about. In number 1, the question was, in the last 2 years, write down or think about all the things you've done that have scared you. And then the second question, am I happy? And then the third question, writing down or just thinking about all the ways that you've expressed your creativity in this last 2 years. Now, looking at those answers and those responses, what are they revealing from you to you about on a continuum of comfort, complacency, apathy to pure bliss and joy? Where are you on this continuum? And can you see that if you're not doing things that scare you, if you're not doing things that are creative, that we're tending towards this side of just complete overcomfort and complacency, and we're not moving closer to this end of bliss, right? And so what can you do now? What can you do to stoke your creative expression? What have you been holding back? Are there classes that you've earmarked and you've said, I'm going to get back to that? Or places, maybe it's a holiday, maybe it's a location, maybe it's some athletic endeavor, right? And what are those things? And make a list of those things that you know would stoke creativity. And then make a list of at least 5 things that scare you. Perhaps it's doing a little improv, going to an improv class. Maybe it's karaoke. Yeah. Maybe it's going someplace completely new. Perhaps it's telling somebody that you've been in relationship with how deeply you care about them, or what it is that you adore about them. Maybe it's having a tough conversation with somebody that has been challenging for you. And instead of staying complacent and not saying anything and seeing no change, you could actually say something and express your boundaries and get uncomfortable in that way. Maybe it's changing how you wear your hair, what your outer avatar looks like, right? In clothing or dress. And it's doing something from that list of what scares you and something that is creative. And if you can even combine those things in some way, or see how the relationship is between something that's scary and something that stokes creativity, and put more of that juiciness into your life, I know that almost immediately you're going to feel this rebound of energy, vitality, enthusiasm, excitement. And yes, that's what happiness looks like, right? And you'll just feel it, you'll just know. And I want you to come back and put a comment on this video and tell me, like, oh, you know what? This is what I did, and this is the impact it had on my life. I would really love and appreciate hearing from you. But when we look back at moments, there's no need to try to understand how we got to the place we are. Like, okay, why have I gotten so overly comfortable? How did I get this habituated and complacent? How did I just become apathetic? Or how did I just get so numb? There's no need to diagnose and excavate the detail of how you got here. Instead, put your energy not in the past, but in the future. Put it forward into doing more things that are creative, that express aspects of yourself that may be scary to reveal from you to you, let alone from you to others. But let's move forward, shall we? Let's not hesitate any further. And if you have been struggling with self-doubt, self-trust, a lack of confidence, these are the types of things that we can do that will absolutely increase and heal where we feel doubt, where we feel a lack of confidence. There's nothing better than just the effort of trying without any attachment to the result, right? That's why creative pursuits are so wonderful, is they don't have to be any particular thing. We're doing them for the sheer experience of them. And one of the things I want to leave you with as an exercise is go to dinner by yourself. Not at the bar. Sit at a table. Sit at a table. Take yourself out to dinner. And don't stay on your phone the entire time, head down, hidden. But keep your head up. Keep your phone put away. Enjoy a special meal with yourself. And gosh, if that doesn't scare you, then I don't know what will. Just kidding. But really take that to heart. Try it out. Let me know the details, where you went, what you ate, and how it went for you. I would love to know. But let's do something to stoke our happiness, to really make some deposits into our joy, so that life doesn't feel like it's just happening around us and happening to us, but that we're actively involved in this beautiful cosmic dance of life and consciousness itself, and that we're expressing our gratitude for the experience of being alive by enjoying it and doing something with it. From my heart to your heart, I love you so much. And my hope for you is that you love yourself, and you love your day, and you love your life. If you have been inspired, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. I would be so grateful. Tell your friends, share this out, and I will see you next time. Much love to you.